Oh, we consider a game between the two periphery countries, in particular country A and country B, in which each country, after observing a shock, can choose between two possible actions, in particular no exit or exit from the monetary union. We can identify four regimes, which are regime N, in which no country no countries will devalue, will leave the monetary union. The regime DA, in which only country A chooses to leave monetary union. Regime DB, in which only country B chooses to leave the monetary union. And regime E, which both country choose to leave the monetary union. So our point is that we want to see under which conditions we can observe an Nash equilibria after a realization or a shock realization, in particular under which condition we can have that regime E is an Nash equilibria. In order to see this situation, we need that there is no incentive to deviate for country A or and country B from this equilibrium. This means that the difference in losses because for country A is positive if country A chooses to deviate from this Nash equilibrium, and the same for country B. And we want to check when each one of these equilibria is an Nash equilibrium. As first step, we need to compute the optimal response function for each one of the countries, and this can be obtained by minimizing the loss function with respect to the shadow exchange rate. And this is the optimal response function for country I, which depends on the shock affecting country I, on the devaluation of country I, on the elasticity of net exports with respect to the real effective exchange rate, and the inflation adverse coefficient. So the two possible two reaction functions are Si equal to this value, or Si equal to 0, which means that the country I chooses to stay in the monetary union. So we can compute the possible optimal policies in each regime, and for each one of these policies we will compute the value of the loss function. This means in regime N, both country A and country B stay in the monetary union, so we set STA and STB equal to 0. In regime DB and DA, in regime DB, only country B chooses to leave the monetary union. This means that the valuation of country A will be equal to 0, and the valuation of country B will depend just on the shock affecting country B. In regime DA, only country A chooses to leave the monetary union. This means that the devaluation of country B will be equal to 0, and the devaluation of country A will depend on the shock affecting country A. In regime E, both countries will choose to leave the monetary union. This means that we have an optimal policy, optimal devaluation for country A equal to this expression, in which we can see both the shock affecting country A but also the shock affecting country B, because also country B will choose to devalue, and this means that there will be a loss of competitiveness for country A. The same holds for country B. Now, the loss function associated with each regime and the optimal policies in each regimes are described in these equations. LIN is the loss for country I when we consider regime N, in which both countries will remain in monetary union. This means that each country gets the losses equal to the shock affecting the country. So the loss of country I will be equal to the shock affecting country I. Is the loss of country I if only country I will choose to devalue, and this in this case there is the cost of credibility, and something that depends on the shock affecting country I, and this cost is due to the inflation or devaluation, the aversion to devaluation of country I. This is the loss of country I when the other just only the other country will choose to devalue, to abandon the monetary union. In this case, these losses will be equal to the shock affecting country I, because country I will not choose to devalue in order to compensate the shock by devaluation, and it depends also on the loss of competitiveness due to the devaluation of country J. Finally, we will have the loss of country I when both country will leave the monetary union. In this case, we have the cost of credibility for country I because we choose to leave the monetary union, and we have also other parameters, in particular something depending on the shock of affecting country I, in particular the aversion to devaluation, so the devaluation, and the loss of competitive effect due to loss of competitiveness for the devaluation country J, which depends on the shock affecting country J.